Three stunning developments last night in Milwaukee. The Bucks broke their 4-game home losing streak by dominating the Celtics 104-91. It wasn't even that close. Celts shot 0 free throws in the game. The Bucks shot only 2, making 1. Only 1 made free throw in the entire game. That's a new record by far. And last but certainly not least, Giannis pulled or strained a calf muscle. It's not an Achilles tear, but he will have more tests today. So, Keyshawn, your reaction first to that injury.
Well, it's scary. You know, I'm not a doctor, but it just reminds me a little bit of what happened with Kevin, where it was a calf
Kevin
injury.
Durant in the finals.
Durant injury that happened prior to the finals, though, where it was a calf injury and it turned into an Achilles later on down the line in the finals. And now you look at the situation with Giannis, because everything is attached to one another, and you say to yourself, okay, it's a calf injury, but, you know, what happens from a rehab standpoint and a medical standpoint to getting him healthy again, you just hope that it's not one of those that can carry over to something different, because he is a big body. He uses his legs to jump around and do a whole lot of getting up and down the floor. So, you know, he was walking a little gingerly at times, you know, and grimacing. And so you're sitting there going, man, I just hope it's not as severe as it may look.
As you know, Achilles injuries are non-contact. They happen when you're all alone doing next to nothing. It doesn't take any traumatic fall, or you're just sort of trotting along and all of a sudden your Achilles goes. It can be the same for your calf. And you got 3 calf muscles. One's the soleus, and that's the one that they said he pulled or strained. And the 3 calf muscles come together at the Achilles. And then the Achilles goes down into your heel. And if your calf muscles are weakened or they're strained, then, yeah, you're in danger of rupturing your Achilles. And that's what Kevin Durant did. He tried to force it to play a little faster than he should have on his pulled calf muscle. And the worst thing happened. Well, the worst thing could happen here. And I think the worst thing has happened to the Bucks, this side of an Achilles tear. Keyshawn, I don't think he's going to be able to play in the first round of the playoffs. These things usually linger for 3 or 4 weeks. I don't think they'll rush him back the way they did Kevin, to your point. So if he can't play in the first round of the playoffs, they've had a hard enough time with him on the floor. Do you think they can get out of the first round? I know
I'm trying to look to see who they. Yeah, I was trying to see.
Impossible.
I was trying to see the matchup.
It's mind blowing. It's
who would
too
be
much.
their matchup
I don't
if
know.
they can hold on to the 2 spot?
Yeah, I don't think they're going to hold on to the 2 spot.
If they hold on to the 2, would they draw like? I don't know, who would they draw, like the Heat or something?
It's too jumbled right now to even figure it out. But if they did draw the Heat, they'd
it would be Miami. It would be Miami or Philly. So you're in trouble with Embiid.
Either way.
I mean, obviously, Brook Lopez could slide in that position, but you still would be.
Embiid looks really good last night.
You would probably be in trouble. Miami, on the other hand, you know, they're a playoff team. Jimmy Butler gets cooking.
Well, he cooked them last year, right out of the playoffs. And what was it, in 5 games?
Yeah, but it was a shocker last night to see that the way that they played without Giannis on the floor. I mean, they ran shop on Boston, which a lot of us, especially myself, leaving yesterday, felt like, oh, okay, they go, you know, pretty much
You
wipe
suggested
the floor.
they shouldn't even play their starters.
Well, I thought that, you know, what are they 14 games up? Why would I even bother?
Send one more message to Milwaukee, like.
Well, they tried that. It didn't work.
Okay, but
and Porzingis didn't play.
Okay, neither did Al Horford. But their starters played, but they didn't really play, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, they was kind of like out on the floor.
They were just kind of out on the floor, which is back to the free throw situation. The Bucks committed only 4 fouls in this game. That was the fewest in league history, okay? So they weren't shooting fouls, but they committed 4 fouls. Okay, how do you get to the free throw line? If you're the visiting team, you have to force the action.
Yeah, you go to the cup
you
most of the
just
time.
Go to the cup.
Yeah.
You force referees to make a decision, and they'll make some in your favor where you're going to shoot some free throws if you're into the game.
They didn't shoot none, though.
They shot none because they were not into the game.
And 2, the entire game for Milwaukee, which was pretty funny.
Yeah. The two combined attempts shattered the previous record of 11. The previous record was 11, which was set November 10th of 2019. Pacers shot 5, Orlando shot 6. So think about this. You've got 11 was the record, and they beat it by 9 because they had only 2. That's
the
just
referees
crazy.
swallowed their whistles.
They swallowed their whistles. Okay,
why?
so here's a Dame quote from after the game, and you can look at this 2 ways, but this was his quote. He says, "Fouls are not part of the game anymore. It's like I've had times where I thought I was getting fouled, and there have been other times when I was surprised a foul didn't get called on me, where I might bump somebody or get a piece of somebody's arm, and they don't call it. And I'm like, man, they're really just letting us play." Okay, there's some truth to that.
Yeah, but to call no shooting fouls, you can't tell me if I go through the tape, you can't tell me I can't find some fouls in there that needed to be called.
Jason Tatum had a couple of dunks where he thought he got fouled on the dunk, but they did not call it.
Well, the Laker game last night, there was some fouls on both ends of the floor that was not called.
I agree.
There going, what are you doing?
Yeah, I told you on the Rui.
The Rui dunk with Gary Payton Jr. blocking, that was a foul. LeBron got fouled a couple times.
He did.
Chris Paul got fouled a couple times.
Yep.
I don't know.
Okay, is this the new NBA where they're just letting them play a little more football, basketball, where they're just letting them bang with each other? Just let it go.
I mean, it's 82 games, though. So in 82 games, you're probably going to let them play some.
Okay, so...
But this is pretty wild.
So what did Doc Rivers say after the game? That Adam Silver had to love this. Why? Because the whole game took an hour and 57 minutes. I know some nights when we have to stay up for a Laker game and it goes 3 hours.
3 hours.
And it's a march to the free throw line where I'm just like, just stop it. Just let them finish the game. The point being, Adam Silver may be encouraging the referees to swallow their whistles to move the game along because he's all about the entertainment
Okay, so if we swallow on the whistle, we can get at least 10 free throw attempts. Not 2.
Yeah.
Can we get 10?
Or 0.
Or 0 if you're Boston Celtics.
You get 0 free throws. It's impossible. It's like I
don't think if in fact he gave some instruction in conversation passing by, I don't think he said to do it to this degree.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think that he said, hey, no fouls. I don't think that that's the case.
No.
Unless you look at it, you can look at it a lot of different ways and say, hey, it's a meaningless game to the Boston Celtics either way, so just don't bother calling fouls because they're going to be in the first position anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe that was a conversation.
Maybe. All right, so the Bucks had a classic players-only meeting ahead of this game, and they came out like they were ready to play, ready to defend their home honor for once after they'd lost 4 straight games at home, including home games to Toronto and Memphis, where they looked like they were quitting on Doc Rivers. Well, they didn't quit on themselves, at least to open the game, because Brook Lopez went Draymond Green, because you realize Brook Lopez made his first 4 3-point attempts in the first quarter. Well, if he's going to do that, you're going to be in big trouble, and Boston was in big trouble.
And Patrick Beverley also was knocking down
And
threes.
by the way, he got inserted last night for the first time into the starting lineup. I thought that was a shrewd move by Doc Rivers because I just love Pat Bev's energy. It just, again, is he the greatest player ever? No. Is he the most skilled? Nope, he's not. But does he play his tail off?
He's a tryhard, and when you go out there and you give maximum effort, that's all the coach is asking for you to give maximum effort on both ends of the floor. When you get an opportunity to score, and when you need to defend. And that was what he did last night.
And it's contagious for your team because you got somebody out there who's
Westbrook did the same thing.
Hey, listen,
he got into the lineup for the first time since November as a starter.
Because there was no James.
He went 15, 15, and 15, and you could see the energy.
Yeah,
was it 16?
He had 16 points and 15 rebounds and 15 assists.
16, 15, and 15. And so you can see the energy. You can just see everything.
That's just pure, raw energy.
And that's the same thing that Pat Bev gives you.
He brought it.
And that's something that we, as a Laker, I believe we missing that too.
Yeah.
We just missing that.
So are you ready to write the Bucks off? Because I'm there. I just don't think they're going anywhere.
Unless Giannis is hurt and not coming back, then yeah. If
I
he's
just
not
don't
coming
think
back,
he's. I don't think he'll be ready for the first round of the playoffs. We're too close.
it depends on the draw that they get. You know, it may go to 6, it may go to 7, but I'm not ready to write them off, and I've never been ready to write them off because, as I said to you and Paul the other day, you know, I think Paul agreed. When you have veteran players that have been there and done that, they, regardless of what anybody tells you, they know how to turn the switch on.
Yeah.
You look at the Golden State Warriors late in the year, they understand. Yeah, we played around all year long. We're sitting in this position.
That is
but we've
true.
been there and done that.
Yeah.
The Lakers a year ago, they'd been there and done it. They turned the switch on after the trade deadline, and they
did.
wind up in the Western Conference Final because they had guys that have been in these positions before. When you think about Lopez and Middleton and Dame Lillard, although he's never won a championship, he's been in deep playoff runs. And then obviously Giannis. Those guys, they just know, it's just veterans just know. That's why coaches and front office executives like to acquire veteran players that have some experience at knowing how to do something.
Sure, I'm with you, but this just feels wrong to me, while Golden State feels right to me. Golden State has caught fire. And the problem with Milwaukee is they went and got Dame, and so it's a big three that they have